This video is sponsored by Squarespace. If you think you know all the ways to use a dry brush, I can guarantee you're wrong. You probably think this brush has one job, sweeping edges. And you're right, that is what it's good at. But if you stop there, you're leaving the best part of this tool on the table. A second hidden technique made to blend color, create contrast, and tell a story, all while being faster and easier than more traditional painting techniques. Today, we're going over stippling, one of my favorite underutilized techniques that will change the way you paint forever. To start, you need a domed brush in a variety of sizes. Here, I have a large, medium, and tiny domed brush. Only have one size domed brush? That's fine. Beat up old round brushes work just as well. The point is we want a brush that makes circular, organic shapes to help our stippling blend seamlessly. Okay, let's load our brush and get into the motion. I'm starting my miniature with a shadow color already applied. On my palette, I'm creating a gradient of colors from my shadow to my highlight. I'm mixing Ultimate Cup of Coffee, Pale Blue Dot, and Blue Licks from Bear Cavalry to create a more vibrant take on that classic ultramarine blue. I like to mix my colors right at the start of the painting process so that once I begin painting, I can lean into speed over everything else. But before we start on the model, let's see how this works. I'm starting by rolling my brush into my paint and removing excess on my texture palette off to the side. Instead of pulling the brush down my surface like the normal dry brush, I'm stamping tiny dots onto the surface. The splayed texture created by the brush makes it look like dozens of small, controlled marks. Okay, now that the general idea is illustrated, time to apply it to the model. I'm taking my large domed brush and rolling it in my mix of Ultimate Cup of Coffee and Pale Blue Dot, the color in my gradient that is just above black. Then I'm starting from the top of my model and slowly moving downwards. There is an order to stippling. Wherever I want the color to be more opaque, that's why I start applying the paint. Then, as my brush becomes less densely packed with paint, I begin moving down the model. The secret is that our gradient isn't created by blending, it's created by density of our paint. Starting at the top with our more opaque paint and more layered paint, and then moving down the model with less opaque paint and less paint, mimics how light falls on a model, where the top half of the model is brighter than the bottom half of the model. To go along with that, every new color I'm adding is pushed a little higher up the model, and using a softer hand to apply the paint. Like dry brushing, the lighter hand you use to apply, the less paint will leave your brush. Think of it like a zenithal prime, but done with color instead of light and shadow. Since the goal here is speed, I'm going almost all the way up the gradient. If you want more control, that's totally fine, you'll just lean a bit more into the next step of the process. And here's where we're at so far. If you're going for a grim, dark look, you could honestly stop here, throw on some streak and grime, add a bit of mud, and call it done. But I want a smoother gradient, so let's start tightening things up and working into the details. But first, let's talk about Squarespace. Squarespace has everything you need to build your online presence, and so much more. Use Squarespace Blueprint to answer a few questions and get a custom-designed website. Want something specific? Check out their templates, use their easy drag and drop tools to create your unique site fast. Add in online classes, print on demand, and built-in payments. It truly becomes your all-in-one platform. If you're ready to build the website for your next chapter, head to squarespace.com for your free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use code LYLAMEV to save 10% off on your first purchase of a website or domain. Alright, back to painting. Now that we've got the details locked in, let's start creating some smoother, more interesting blends. I'm dipping into my mix of Pale Blue Dot and Blue Licks with a tiny brush and gently dabbing it along the bottom of the cauldron, then slowly working upwards to blend that lighter color out. Again, I'm building the color gradually by packing paint into that tight area first, then softening and pulling it outwards by giving more space to each individual brush stamp. After that, I'm using the same color on the elbow pad and the hip pad. With the pauldron, I was blending my midtone up into the highlight. Now I'm taking that same color and using it to blend midtone down into the shadow. Why this works. Your brain does the blending for you. The small, irregular dots break up the surface just enough that your eyes averages the colors together. Instead of seeing individual marks, your brain reads natural variation. We call this optical mixing. This model is looking great so far, but I want even more control. And that's where we switch from a domed brush to a round brush. The large surface of a domed brush is awesome for covering a lot of ground quickly, but that speed comes at the cost of detail. Off to the side, I'm mixing blue licks with ice blue from Ultra Krill, and I'm dabbing some brighter highlights right at the top of the pauldron, the top of the back piece, and along the edge of the hip plate, following the natural shape of each element. Since the pattern my round brush leaves is even smaller than my tiny domed brush, I can create the ultra-specific blends I'm looking for. And if you put a color down and realize it's a little too intense, don't stress, just dab it away with your finger and keep going. But there's one more hack for stippling. Using my round brush, I'm lightly tapping in a glaze mix of blue licks around the model, right along those rough transitions. Using the same tapping motion, the natural texture created by stippling helps the glaze melt into the surface. No harsh layer lines and no coffee staining to worry about. And the best part, this same stipple glazing technique makes glazing easier on any model you paint. Just make sure you allow it to dry before building up multiple coats. So why does this beat the standard sweep? The sweep defines geometry. It asks, where are the sharp edges? What are the shapes of this model? Which can be extremely valuable. But stippling is way more versatile than people give it credit for. It's more controlled, it works at smaller scales, and it's incredible for storytelling through texture. Use stippling to create the texture of velvet, burlap, leather, worn stone, even weathered skin. Stippling can be the secret weapon to creating more interesting miniatures. Now this technique is easy, but there are ways you can mess it up instantly. Let's go over some common mistakes and how to fix them. Blobs instead of dots. If you see splats, smears, or physical texture, stop and unload more paint. Use a texture palette off to the side until you get the even marks that fall off as you continue to stipple. Patchy or uneven results. This could be because you applied uneven brush taps, or perhaps you have so little paint on the brush that the paint texture is uneven. Both can be fixed by using your tiny stipple brush to fill in gaps of paint and use a glaze to make it even smoother. With the combination of stipple glazing, you can see how stippling has created a gorgeous space marine with unique, interesting armor in practically no time at all. And if you really want to be fast, you can even stipple wet blend. It's a great beginner way to work on wet blending because it's not going to look perfect. That's the point of stippling. So what do you think? Are you going to add stippling to your normal routine? As always, thanks so much for watching me. It means the world to me that you're here. Like, comment, subscribe, go join me on Patreon. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.